Hey everyone, Scooby-Doo here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be weathering and repainting our Mattel 12-inch Velociraptor Blue. I picked him up at Kohl's. He was $7.99 and I think he looks pretty cool. It's just a basic kind of toy. His arms move and you can kind of move his legs a little bit, but he'll only stand in a certain position. His feet swivel, and this is the box that he comes in. While building the Jurassic Room, I was trying to find something that looked like a baby dinosaur, and this was really the closest thing I could find. There is a company out there called Rebor that makes really highly detailed figures. They're probably like the Hot Toys of dinosaurs, but the biggest they seem to make is like a 1/18 or 1/16 scale, which put it probably about like this high right here. And that was just a little bit too small, so I decided to go ahead and pick this guy up because he is going in an area in the room that he's not going to be like really up close. So I figured maybe if I could do a little bit of painting on him, I can make him look better. The only thing I really don't like about this figure is the tail, because it does come apart. Actually, it comes apart and then you put it together when it's in the box. I think that was so they could use a small box like this. So you do have this gap in here. I suppose you could probably fill that in with some putty and then smooth it out and then make it where you couldn't see it, but I'm not going to worry about that today. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and use our tempera black paint to give it a wash. And so here's our bowl that we use all the time, and here's our paint that we use all the time. Really inexpensive. Actually use just pennies of it every time. That should be way more than enough. Now anytime I'm starting a new project, I don't really know whether to use it full strength or to add water to it. There's a little bit of water in this brush, but we're gonna go ahead and just put it on just pretty much straight on. Look, I just made a black dinosaur. I'm getting his eyes. Get everywhere. Now, one nice thing about using this, if you watch my videos in the past, I've been learning different ways to use this, and I'll basically let this dry, and then hopefully most of it I could just use my hands to take off. In fact, you know what? I know you guys are waiting for it. Let me just go ahead and get a little bit more of this on with the brush, and we'll just go ahead and just use my fingers to get in here. It's just as easy. I mean, the stuff gets on my fingers, it comes off. If I wash it right away, if not, it'll come off within the day. Now again, he's really hard plastic, so it's not like a soft rubber plastic. But again, I couldn't find anything. Hats off to you collectors that collect raptors and T-Rexes and all those different kind of dinosaurs. Doesn't seem like you guys have a lot to choose from in getting larger scaled figures. Alright, so I think that's good. Yeah. Alright, we're all done. Basically, he fell into the La Brea tar pits, and yeah, that's him. See what I was saying? He doesn't necessarily stand up all that well. Oh, they just stood right there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and then we will come back and I will take most of it off, and hopefully it'll get into all the little nooks and crannies of this dinosaur, of this raptor. Alright, and I'm going to go wash my hands off. We'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and let it dry. It took about 5 minutes. There's still a couple little places where it's still a little bit wet, but that's okay. So now we're just going to go back in here and just take it off. And you can see now all the extra detail that's coming out. Still a little bit wet under there. Get a towel. So you see how easy that is. Now I can just keep going in here with my fingers and taking it off. Get in his neck. Oh yeah, now we can start really getting the detail in there. Now if it's a little too dark, that's okay too, because I have a little bit of a moist sponge here and I can reactivate the paint. And I actually could just use this sponge to take it all off. I just like using my fingers, my hands. I like how it got into these cracks, so it's going to kind of hide the joints a little bit. So I'm going to continue to take off the extra. I could use a towel. I'm going to keep taking this stuff off until I get the look that I want, and then I think I'm going to use some gray temper paint to get a couple different layers of color. And that should lighten them up a little bit. But you can see there on how we're getting all the detail, which is why we do the weathering in the first place. He's definitely too dark around his neck, so we'll just kind of get in here. There we go. Couldn't be simpler. Alright, so let me go ahead and finish doing the cleanup on this. And again, this is what's nice about doing the cleanup, is you just keep going back and you go, oh, okay, yeah, I like that. No, it's still a little too dark. Yeah, let me wipe that off. I mean, you can literally get it exactly how you want it. So now that we got most of the black off that I wanted to take off, we're going to go ahead and add some gray. Same way, we're just going to put it in our little bowl. That should be plenty. And I'm pretty much going to do it the same way. I'm not going to cover everything as much as I did with the black. Now, so too, if you're wondering, I am going to be doing some dry white painting around his blue stripe, and then we're going to do some black dry painting for his talons. Kind of get in here a little bit. Again, this is just to give it some layers. I have to tell you, the Jurassic Room is coming out so awesome. Hey, look, made in China. I didn't even see that there. You see how that the dry painting brings out detail? Made in China right there. The Jurassic Room is coming out so awesome. I think what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to do it into sections. This guy is going on top of the dartboard. And I'll probably do each component, because I have my sauna is the lab, and then I have my hot tub that's going to be in a different area, and think I'm going to do a video for each and do like a breakdown of how I did it. Alright, so again I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. And then we'll kind of blend it all in with the fingers. And then we'll start our next step. This is so easy. I can't, again, I always say there's certain projects that you can do as starters. This would definitely be another one. Just some tempera paint and water, and put yourself down a towel or something. Get yourself some soap and water and go ahead and start practicing. All right. Okay, so I went ahead and cleaned off most of the gray tempera paint. I might still go back in again, but we're going to go ahead and start with the dry painting. And actually this is more a regular painting because I have to paint his talons. So we're going to use just black spray paint on my, just really quickly, my little piece of cardboard. And we'll just go ahead and start painting his talons. Now you could just use regular hobby paint, but I find just using the spray paint on the cardboard works just fine. And again, the you know, the cans are only 99 cents and they last for quite a while. I don't think you need to have too steady of a hand to paint this. It's not that detailed. Just claws are... Oh, by the way, I just now remembered. Yes, I do realize that he is a she. I did a reaction video to Jurassic World couple of years ago, and that was one comment that I got a lot from people was, hey, it's a female, not, you keep saying he. So I do know that Blue is actually a she, so I'll try to say her. I'm just used to saying he or him. So her talons are pretty easy to paint. Just want to give it the extra detail. Suppose Mattel could have done this, but I guess they wanted to keep the price down, which I'm kind of glad, because this is just a toy anyways, and if somebody wants to use it for how I'm going to use it, it's, you know, doing stuff like this is kind of fun. Well, I don't know about fun, it's just something to do. It's part of a hobby. Besides, it saves on buying those rebore that aren't big enough anyways. I did notice that a lot of ones that maybe are close to this size are really expensive. Like, we're talking like $600, $700, $800, which is insane. I thought the Hot Toys were expensive. So there is definitely a large group of collectors that really love dinosaurs and Jurassic Park and stuff out there, just the same as there's with Star Wars, that really have to spend a lot of money for their collections. And those reborn ones look, I mean, they look awesome. I mean, I really wanted to get one. They were just way too small. So I don't think I need to run the camera for all of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish doing her talons, and then I might do a couple other highlights with the black, and then we'll come back and then do the white dry painting. Okay, now that the talons have been painted on her, we shall go to my favorite part, which is the white dry painting. we're actually going to be doing some regular white painting and dry painting. The difference is really not much actually, because I'm going to take most of the white paint off anyways. This is kind of watery. I did the same thing with the spray paint. And we're going to highlight his blue there. So I did it again. Her blue stripe. I don't like how that's kind of watery. Sometimes when you use the spray paint, it comes out really nice and thick, and sometimes you don't shake the can good. I don't like how that's, get a little bit more. Now, do not spray paint in your house. I'm just putting just a little bit down on the cardboard. And I'm actually taking most of it off because I don't want to get too much. But she had that white highlight around her blue stripe. Now also too, with the white painting, we're going to go through and we're going to highlight her talons a little bit as well. And we'll also use it to highlight some other areas. That's why I like doing the white dry painting, because it really does highlight a lot of stuff. Most people always just do the black, but I feel if you do the white as well, it really looks good on your models or your figures. So you can see here now how her stripe is coming out. Very, very simple. Come up here on the neck. And I don't want to make this video much longer than it already is. So I'm going to show you a couple other techniques really quick, and then I'm going to finish her up and then get her onto the dartboard. I don't know if that's coming out or not. So like here with her talons, so just having them just jet black, want to put a little bit of paint on there. So you can see, hopefully there's a little bit of reflection. But we're also going to do it like we did with the tempera paint. This is going to highlight a little bit more. So I'm going to go through in and do this. Do it right here again. And I just have a little bit of paint on the brush so the paint doesn't get everywhere. See here again. Hopefully that's coming out. And now she's really starting to get a lot of detail. Do it in one more spot. I don't want to put too much because I definitely want her stripe to show more, so I don't want to have too much, but I'm definitely going to get some in here. Do some right above her eye. On her shoulder. Now, if you're going to do something like this, you can always keep playing with this. Once you do this painting, if you feel it's too bright or something, go back over it again with some more of that black tempera paint and kind of dull it up, because I kind of had a question on whether I should do the painting first and then do the black tempera, or do it the other way. I decided to go this route because I knew I could always come back. Highlight some of her bones and her hand. I can come in here and do a part of her mouth as well. And with the dry painting, see, there's so little paint on there that you just get just a little bit. You don't have to worry about going, oh, I put too much and then it looks bad. Here. All right, I'll finish this up. I will show her, I guess, one more time, and then we'll finish up the video. All right, I'm pretty happy on how she turned out. And I could always still go back in again, but definitely a lot more detail. Just if this wasn't here, but that's okay. She's gonna look fantastic up on the dartboard. So wrapping up this video, stay tuned. I will show you the completed dartboard with her on it. Hopefully by this weekend, if not sooner. I do have 3 days off coming at the end of the week, so I will have time to put up that video. But there she is. See the back. I think she looks pretty cool. Too bad the head didn't turn. It would be nice to have the head turned, but we can kind of do her like this a little bit. You can see here on the feet. All right, questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Again, stay tuned for the other videos, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week.